Welcome to Talking Over You with Sarah Sturm
and Hannah Sturm.
Here we go.
If you're going to be an asshole, at
Be
least
funny.
At least be funny. I thought it was a mancoon.
We need to have like a real athlete on here. It makes me consider different careers every time I have to pee in my chamois.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Good morning.
Hi.
We're in different
Hello.
places.
Hola from
Hola.
Ciudad, Mexico. This place is awesome. I don't want to come home.
Yeah. Am I reminding you of home? Because I feel like you're not wanting to talk to me either.
No, I'm just grouchy because Dylan is doing a gym workout right now, and I don't like missing out on things.
God. We'll do it afterward. You're on vacation. You don't have to do anything, right?
No, it's just more motivating if we're like both doing it at the same time.
And he didn't want to wait for you?
I guess not.
Well, good. Be grouchy towards me.
I also haven't eaten
appropriate.
anything. And yesterday we got 4 hours of sleep. And
Yesterday?
Then just,
Why?
after the wedding.
Oh. That was only yesterday? Last
Saturday.
night?
Like Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
We only got, so yesterday we were like sleep deprived walking around the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like we sat down at we went to the Museum of Modern Art here and we were like looking at, like in front of some of the big paintings, there's like a little bench to sit and like look at it and take it in. Mm-hmm. I looked over at Dylan and he was like,
Just nodding off.
sitting down.
That's also what those are for. Yeah, for sleeping.
I was like, oh my God, we need to keep walking around.
Sitting is not an option.
There was this artist whose last name was Rojo, which means red. Mm-hmm. And there was a painting that was just red. And Dylan was just standing in front of it with his eyes that were super bloodshot. And I was like, are we the art?
Yeah. Mm. You are the art. Correct.
So yeah, apologies everybody if there's some traffic in the background. It turns out that Mexico City is, in fact, a large city. And city things do be doing city things, and it's just loud. This episode today is brought to you by Silka. Once again, we get to talk about all the awesome things that Silka does. Not only offer their pro athletes equal pay, women and men, which I feel like is a big one, especially in this day and age. Sorry, I have something still in my eyeball. If only Silka made eye drops, that'd be great. The chain lube of the eyes. They make amazing products. If you don't want to learn about how to wax your chain, you can listen to the episode where we do a techie talkie about waxing your chain. You are going to say something.
Did you see there was an Instagram comment that said, because I listened to this episode, I immediately went and like switched from one of the things and waxed their chain. They like switched from like silicone or whatever
chain lube
to
waxing their chain
because of the tech.
Well,
which is we got one.
You hear that, Silka? We got one. Well, great. That's awesome. If you want to start dabbling in the chain waxing land, which honestly, like, it's sort of like you do it once and you can kind of forget about it for a while, which is kind of nice. So if you're not like an everyday kind of chain lube person, you might want to look into waxing your chain. Endurance chip is a great option. It just kind of covers all bases, which is a type of wax you can do. And they have a cute little mini Silka crock pot that you melt the wax in, and you can just look like super pro. So if you're into looking cool, you can wax your chain.
Can people like see that you have waxed your chain? Or
I feel like every time people wax their chains, they like post a story about it. But maybe it's just the people
anyone
I
going to know that
follow.
you waxed your chain unless you post a story about it?
It's a tough product to market, I will say, because it's an invisible, similar to chamois butter, invisible product. But yeah, that's how you say you wax your chain. And just know when there's a Silka athlete riding around, we have a waxed chain. So,
and that's what
thanks,
makes you go
Silka.
so fast.
Yeah, so fast. So many free watts. Okay. Wow, big week. Another wedding.
Wedding extravaganza. I'm excited to hear about this one.
This one was wild.
I just got to watch, your Instagram stories. It was like, I cannot wait to hear all about it.
I know. I'm like, I feel really bad because every week I've just been talking about weddings, but it's really funny going from like a wedding last weekend that was a cycling specific wedding to this one that was absolutely not whatsoever.
And yeah, okay. Should
we get into
it? Let's, because I really do want to hear about it.
It was really funny because like it's sort of like the first. I got my nails done. I found a new girl in Durango, and they're like that shimmery like cat eye.
They look like do you remember tiger? What's that stone?
Yes,
tiger's
the stone.
That I used to be obsessed with, all the like polished stones. Yeah, it looks like tiger's eye.
Oh, it was so fun.
Very fun.
Yeah, like she held a little magnet up, like she painted a coat, and then it was wild to watch. I don't want to say who it is because I don't want everyone going there.
You'd like to gatekeep.
I'm going to gatekeep. Sorry.
Got it.
Sorry, girls and guys.
Well, tell me offline.
This one. Yeah, I will.
In case I ever
oh my
feel
God,
like
I really have something in my eyeball. It's driving me crazy. Whoa, and I got really close to the mic. Okay, so this wedding in Mexico City, it's a dear friend of mine and I got really good at telling the story because, of course, you go, it's like, there's like 100 people probably. And so, and we didn't know anyone. Dylan
and the opener at
didn't.
A wedding is, well, how do you know the happy couple?
Exactly. They were like, do you know Michael or do you know Ryan? And I was like, well, I know Michael. And they're like, oh, from where? And I was like, well, we lived together when we were 16 in Nicaragua. Which sounds far more, actually it was pretty exotic. We did this program called Amigos de las Americas.
I was saying, I was talking to my friends about the wedding that you're going to, and I was like, yeah, because they were doing Amigos de las Americas, and they were like, what is that?
What the hell is that? Yeah, it's like,
I thought that was everywhere.
I think it's kind of out of vogue now. Like kids don't do those sorts of things in high school. I have no idea. It's like baby PeaceCorps is basically what I was saying.
Got it. Okay.
PeaceCorps for babies. And the more I thought about it, it was pretty wild for mom and dad to let me do that. So essentially it was like baby PeaceCorps. And when I was 16, I'd never been to summer camp. I had really never been away from home for more than a weekend at a friend's house. We didn't have access to cell phones, nor did I think I didn't have a cell phone at the time. And I just remember like raising money for it. I would like sell poinsettias and grapefruits in Albuquerque. But it was cool. There was like an Albuquerque chapter, and then you basically like sign up for this thing, and then they ship teenagers all over Latin America.
I don't think they say ship them. I think that implies something else, but okay.
Oh, really? Oh, well, they sent us off.
A little trafficky.
Oh, sorry. No. Well, it kind of felt like that a little bit. They're like, here you go. Oh, you don't have any Spanish experience? Great.
They didn't like provide Spanish classes like the year leading up to it or a semester leading up to it?
No, and I'm like, so I essentially just cried the whole 3 months that I was there, 2 months that I was there, which was memorable for both myself, my host family, and Michael. Anyway, so yeah, we get there and it was like myself, Michael, and then another girl named Grace. And I couldn't tell you anything. I don't remember Grace at all other than she was like really tall and skinny. And we each lived in like a different house in this like tiny little village in the middle of Nicaragua. And sorry, is that distracting, that noise?
I'm still listening.
Okay, great. My story is so captivating. And Michael definitely got placed in like a pretty like the house that he was in, no running water. I mean, I guess I didn't have running water. He just had a latrine that was really a memorable experience for him. I at least had like, it looked like a toilet on the outside, but then you just like dumped a bucket of water in it to flush it. And anyway, we were children, and that's how we met. And Michael and I have stayed in touch ever since, and we have wildly different lives. He's a lawyer. And
where does he live?
I guess he lives in LA.
Okay.
They were in New York. They moved to LA. Sorry, Michael. I'm just going to give everyone your life story
and what's
on the
address?
podcast. Yeah. And then I guess his husband. Oh my God. His husband Ryan's like an amazing graphic designer, and they just live. This wedding was insane. Let me tell you, if you guys ever get invited to a gay wedding in Mexico City, go.
Always go. Anywhere, honestly, maybe just anywhere. It's crazy that the straights even throw, weddings or receptions.
Truly. Well, I'll just say
the gays will always upstage them.
The night ended at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. at one gay club downtown that was insane. It was so theatrical. I felt like I went to a performance.
Performance.
Drew DM'd me and he was like, I don't know what's happening, but I really like it. I was like, I also didn't know what was happening.
Truly incredible.
Then Michael and Ryan basically were like, okay, bye, we're going to go to a gay exclusive club. So there was no invite extended to me and certainly not Dylan. But it was really fun being in a gay club with Dylan because I just watched all the guys watch Dylan.
Well, he did look a little bit like Liberace. He had his little neck scarf.
Oh my God.
On.
Also, I was really excited about my outfit. I mean, I had a crazy cool outfit on, but
yeah,
very much got upstaged by Dylan's fucking scarf. It was like traveling with mom and all the compliments of her hair. Mm-hmm. Every single couple we were standing there and everyone's like, oh my God, I love that scarf. Oh my God. And everybody, Michael's parents, all of Ryan's, all of their friends, the fucking scarf. It did look great.
You guys did look a lot like siblings. You're looking more and more like each other as the years go on.
No, Dylan got all of his blonde cut off.
No, he didn't. No, he's still a little blonde. You both have very similar hairdos right now.
Damn it.
It's very cute. It's cohesive.
Well, so anyway, we were staying in the city. We got shuffled to this amazing venue. I don't know how they put it all together. We did a sorbet and wine cocktail thing that was fantastic.
Amazing.
And, yeah, it was so fun. And I just walked around the city in heels. I mean, truly, my feet are in so much pain. I am exclusively in the rubber Birkenstocks now because they are recovering from the weekend. But yeah, it was insane. And then at the reception was at this really cool museum by the Anthropology Museum in this park. Which was really cool. So we got museum access and then had the dinner and the dance party and then the newlyweds thanked everybody at the end of the dinner and they're and we have a special surprise. And then they started playing Shakira, of course, a gay wedding, you would expect nothing less. And this Shakira impersonator came out.
Drag?
I didn't know. And I didn't know if that was just because
then.
It was either good drag or bad makeup. And so we're all watching, and some of their friends were the background dancers in these little tin foil outfits, and she was lip syncing to Shakira and whipping the hair, and she didn't have the Shakira moves. That is for sure.
Her hips did in fact lie.
Her hips.
They were
absolutely
liars.
Lied. Mentirosas. And she came out, and then I'll just tell you what Dylan's recap of that. He said, I could have done a better job lip syncing to the Shakira songs.
And I need to see that now.
Oh my God.
Like to test that.
Oh, it was so funny. On my Instagram, I really missed an opportunity, so I had to share a really funny DM because I said, I shared a clip of Shakira, and then I said, kind of Shakira, and then someone DM'd me, Shakinda.
Whoa, just hit the wall.
Clunk.
Just bonked my kepi against the wall laughing. Yeah, it did crack me up. I saw that, and it Shakinda is really funny.
I died. It was so funny. We were.
You want to give a shout out?
Shout
whoever
out.
Made that comment?
Well,
they
have a private Instagram, so I didn't want to I didn't want to shout out.
A quiet shout out.
A whisper out.
Anonymous shout out. A whisper out. Stupid.
Oh my God.
A shout in.
A shout in. It was so funny. And then, so kicked off the dance party.
Had a video of you, close
doing
in
a
this,
little
like
shimmy.
Shakira was in the, she kind of was in the middle, and you were doing some like fun shoulder shimmies. That was kind of all you had. Yep.
That's all I got.
That was all you were given.
Every time I try to shimmy, I like try to make my boobs move, but my butt is the only thing that ends up moving, so I'm not
and that does
totally
in fact
sure.
make sense. Yep,
Yeah,
because you have to have a little bit of fat to just shimmy just a little bit.
Oh my god! But it was really it was really fun going to a wedding and knowing zero people. I mean, I had visited Michael's family again when I was a teen, like 17, and so I like vaguely remembered some of his friends who were there.
Is he a triplet or a twin?
He's a triplet.
Okay.
And he couldn't be more different than his siblings.
Love
but
that.
then I was seated at the table with his high school friends, and he hadn't come out yet in high school, but it was very apparent. All of his high school friends.
I called it when I was in middle school.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, totally.
Well, we
like
all knew.
Michael was one of those where we're like, oh, no way. Just kidding. We all knew. But it was really funny because I was seated with all of his high school friends who were, in fact, all women. Not one was a dude.
Really? That's amazing.
But they were great, and they're all over the world, and it was just like, I realized that like as an athlete, God, you really live this kind of isolated life, even though it's really social and really busy. You're isolated from the rest of society and normalcy. And it's not until like we were truly the only people who like rode bikes. I mean, people like commuted and stuff.
Yeah,
and I guess there was
sense.
a couple. One guy like, like lives in LA and kind of rides. But yeah, it was really fascinating. And it made me feel very much more exotic than I actually am. Because, of course, the next question is like, so what do you do? And you're like, God, there's really no way of saying this without sounding just like an arrogant douchebag. But
I feel like in the past you've been kind of self-conscious about saying that you're like a professional athlete. Is it less, do you feel less of that now? Like, do you feel any?
No, I mean, I'm happy to tell people because like it's fun to talk about, but it also like is really hard to like say like I'm a professional athlete without saying like I'm a professional
I'm really
athlete.
good.
Yeah. Well, it just like what I wanted to say is like, no, don't worry. I never win anymore.
I've gotten third a lot.
I've gotten third. You want a girl to get third? You want to come watch
I
me
make
get
it in
third?
top 10 pretty frequently. I mean, so like when somebody says, what do you do? What's your, like, how do you respond? I'm a professional athlete. Do you say that now?
I just say I'm a professional cyclist. Sometimes I say athlete, and then I'm like, I don't know why I
how do
said
they
athlete.
respond?
They're like, oh my God, that's so cool. What do you do? Like, what is that? What does it mean? And then the conversation just in turn always ends up being about me and what I do, which I'm like, part of me is like I'm happy to talk about it. But then it's also like, God, I just feel so like, it feels like kind of try hard,
Is it try hard though, if it's actually what you do?
I know. This is what I have been thinking about. But weirdly, sorry.
No, jump around.
Off topic.
Let's hear it.
Also move your mic a little bit closer. I feel like you're quiet. Unless
it is in my
you're
face.
touching your... Okay, it's in your mouth.
It's in my mouth, yeah.
Okay, then maybe I just need to turn you up.
Turn me up. I'm like hitting yellows
you're
when
up.
I'm talking. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's good. Yeah, so we've been booping around the city, which Dylan and I have never been to Mexico City, and now we are learning. There's very much a pipeline from other large cities in the U.S. Lots of Austin, lots of Chicago, lots of L.A.
What do you mean?
People here. So there's just a lot of, like, in the area that we're staying in is very, like, popular. I think it's, like,
I mean, judging by
pipeline.
those fancy little stairs behind you, it looks really, like,
I actually don't know what neighborhood we're in now. We moved. We've bopped around a little bit, so we're in a new neighborhood.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like the Roma Norte area, which is like tons. I mean, honestly, the coffee shop scene here, it is insane. Like good coffee, amazing food, like everything. So it makes sense that like people travel here. But Dylan and I were like, wow, people in cities just travel to other cities for vacation. Like I don't know. It was kind of nice going to the museums yesterday because we're like, oh, good, we're around Mexicans again.
Yeah.
like there is like there are some parts that feel a little bit touristy for sure, but there have been a couple of overlaps of people from the gravel scene here. We saw one guy wearing a Breakfast Club shirt, which is a big cycling group in Austin.
From the 80s. A movie from the 80s. The Breakfast Club? That has nothing to do with cycling.
No, it's
Molly Ringwald.
Oh, is that the Breakfast Club?
Yeah. Breakfast. Yeah. What did you think it was? Yeah. You want me to Google it really quick? I mean, unless I'm... No, the Breakfast Club. Molly Ringwald.
Okay. Yeah, so there is someone wearing a Breakfast Club shirt, and we ended up having mutual friends, which is crazy. And then last night we sat down at this restaurant, and there was a couple that recognized us from the gravel scene, and they had like a little tiny baby, and were asking about migration gravel, and I was like, oh my God, do it. And then we were talking about, Dylan and I we weren't even hungover. We were probably a little hungover.
Just really tired.
Oh my God, we were so tired. I got like maybe 4 hours tops of sleep.
That's crazy.
And that's what makes me question if we could have children, because they had also been at a wedding the night before, and they were with this group, and there was 2 tiny little babies. And I was like, I don't know if I'm actually strong enough to be hungover with a child that I have to take care of.
Or just tired, just sleep deprived.
Or just simply tired or grouchy or feeling things.
Sometimes I get woken up in the middle, like when Norman is here, sometimes when he drinks water, it wakes me up. Because he's just like...
He's like a little kitten.
But forever, for like, it feels like 30 minutes. And and then it really bothers me. And I'm like, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'm built for this.
Which brings me back, all of you people out there, all of you listeners who have had children before having pets, how do you do that?
What do you mean?
I just think it's crazy to jump in from like 0 things that you're responsible for to a human child. Like a dog seems like a good halfway step.
I feel like all of it's just,
you
like,
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Like, how do you know that you're responsible enough to take care of something? I have a dog, and I'm like, that's pretty much my limit.
Totally.
I get really stressed out about, when, like, I was stressed out about little Gordon last night. He's fine.
Oh,
everything's fine.
okay.
Yeah, he's had a big week too.
Yeah, the first day that we got here, I got a text from our extremely kind friends who agreed to watch Norman very last minute because of a kerfuffle with scheduling. And Norman stayed with them basically for, his entire little doggy life. He knows them well, and I guess felt comfortable enough to chase a squirrel with a couple of the dogs that they were hanging out with, and then got into a little scuffle and got nipped on the chest by this dog. So I got a text from Grady saying that they were taking Norman to the vet because they thought he was fine, and then the next day they found like basically an open chest wound and had to take him to the vet, and he had to get sedated, a couple levels of stitches.
Yeah, did you see? Did Grady send you the picture of it?
No, they know me well enough to know that I probably shouldn't.
I made him show Jeff yesterday before to have Jeff decide if I wanted to see it.
This is also Hannah and I.
We haven't talked about this at all.
No. Is it bad?
I mean, it's fine now.
Just tell me.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was just really deep. It was
really?
Yeah, Grady said it was to the muscle.
Ooh, poor Normie.
I know. Don't worry. He's very normal.
Dude.
Yeah. I went and picked him up yesterday, and he's got he's got big stitches. He's got a lot of stitches on his chest.
It's honestly the first adversity he's ever faced in his life. He got neutered, and
he's going to milk it. He's really going to milk it.
That photo you sent us last night of him just looking pissed.
Yeah, I put him in a t-shirt because I got nervous about I was like, perfect, it's a great spot. He can't lick it. But then I was like, oh my God, his legs, he can absolutely scratch it with his back leg.
He can kind of contort.
Totally, he can. And he went to do that yesterday, and I was like, no, because I'm now scarred because Apple popped her stitches, a month ago, and I had to take her. So But then we put him in a t-shirt, but then that t-shirt, the neck was a little too big for him. So we put him in a lighter colored yellow t-shirt, still in yellow. And he slept with that. I had like little blowholes because I like tightened the shirt and then put like hair ties around it. So he had a blowhole at the neck and a blowhole at the back, and he looked pretty pathetic.
He was blowholed out.
Blowholed out. Yeah, he made it through the night. And I checked his stitches today, and he looks pretty good. Although last night I think he just was we went on a long walk, leashed because he can't not be on his leash. Good thing he poops on a leash. Apple refuses to poop on a leash, but Norman will. But he was like, I was trying to see if he would come and like sleep with us in the room, but he was really comfy on his towel on the couch. And I was like, are you sleeping with your eyes open? Like, are you good? Are you okay? He was fine. He seemed fine. He just was really sleepy, I think. I think he's still just like...
with his eyes open?
Well, I think he just was really relaxed with his eyes open. It was weird. It was a little weird. I was like, like his pupils were like pretty dilated. But maybe they always are. He's totally fine. He was barking at every single dog we passed on our walk this morning, so he's good.
Great. That's really
right back to normal. Yeah. So he's fine.
It is. Oh God, I felt so bad for all. I think Haley, poor Haley.
I know.
Shout out.
Big shout out. That's a loud shout out to Haley.
Oh my God. It's just so stressful when your dog goes through that. And I think it's more stressful when it's someone else's dog.
Totally.
And like, you know.
Yeah, there are a lot
I just
of other
felt so
things.
bad for her, so I got her a cute little gift.
Good. Yeah, he's like, get her something nice. Yeah, he's fine though. Everything's fine.
Poor
he's
Gordon.
Fine. He's just got some
there
pills.
was the only time I was like really, really stressed out when I texted you was when because I like wasn't trying to bug Haley because I was like I didn't want her to like be more stressed, but I was like I really want information, and and she was doing a fantastic job of giving me all of the information I needed. But she was also waiting for the vet to call her, like when Norman, like woke up from being sedated. Yeah. And honestly, I've actually the 2 times Norman's had surgery was like when he got neutered and Dylan picked him up, and then now this. I don't think he's had sedation ever since. So I was like kind of freaking out because it had been like...
I think it was more than just like being... Because there's a difference between like being sedated and like going under anesthesia. And I think he had to go under anesthesia.
Yeah, I think they did.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. He didn't feel any of it. He's totally fine.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry. But he's good. Yeah, traveling is hard when you have a dog. I can't imagine what it's like if you have children. I feel like that would be really hard.
Oh my God. Yeah. But so I was once he was fine, I mostly just felt bad for our friends and you guys for having to deal with like a sick dog, essentially.
I can't wait to see what my gift is.
It's going to be smaller than Haley's.
But it's so difficult. He's such a pain in the ass.
I did realize, so we get like a Ring notification. Dylan and I finally got a Ring camera because we were like,
you get a lot of stuff delivered.
We get lots of things delivered, and like, you know, when you're an athlete or maybe just other jobs in this world. But anyway, people just send us stuff and don't tell us that it's being shipped or like arriving. And so like...
That sounds like my dream.
Yeah, it's super fun. Except
I love
for like
mail.
We travel a lot, and then it just is stressful for us and our neighbor that I don't ever want to like rely on. But she's like, God, these guys are such assholes probably. Because they just get like so many packages only when they're gone. But finally, like years later, 5 years after we should have gotten this, but we finally got a Ring cam. But now I just use it to spy on people. So I listened to your entire conversation with Grady last
Did you hear me tell him? I bet Sarah's listening right now.
No, because I was like, well, I got the notification you can like watch it live. And I mean, it was really fun with the bear because I feel less bad about that because they're on our property. But then, yeah, I was like definitely watching you guys, Grady show up and pick up let Norman out. And yeah, I was like, okay, now I'm actually creepy because I do love seeing. Too. Oh, really? You guys have
I
one
have a camera at the shop. Yeah, I have an outside and an inside camera, and I remember when we hadn't opened yet, but we like had taken down the paper because we had like paper on the windows to like keep it kind of quiet while we were getting everything set up. And we had just put the decals on the windows, and we had like our camera up, but we hadn't opened it, and we had just taken the paper down. And for the outside one, I remember like really looking at it and like listening to like as people walked by to just like try and get an idea of like what they were saying about like, in passing, looking through the window or like looking at the shop and hearing what they said. It was really creepy. Good? Yeah, it was good. I mean, if I could hear things. I think people always go books and bottles. The craziest thing about the shop, I can't tell you how many people have walked in and go, what type of bottles? Like, what type of bottle do you think? There's literally...
What age group is that? Old question. Yeah.
Well, 50s to 50s and up.
That's actually younger than I thought.
It always is shocking.
For all you
what kind of bottles were you thinking? Or they walk in and they go, oh, those kinds of bottles. I'm like, what? Literally,
like message
the logo,
in a bottle? Ships in a bottle? What are they thinking?
I don't know, but the logo is like one of the hands is holding a wine glass. And so that seems somewhat clear to me.
No.
But apparently not so much. That's really have to spell things out. It's not. Oh, on them, not on us.
You could just rename it wine bottles and books for reading.
Yeah, that does have a good ring to it.
Leisurely books. Leisurely
love...
books, wine for drinking.
There are some really fun comments. Like there was, I don't know if people realize that like I can hear when they're like walking by the door and the door is open. Most of the time it's like, oh, that looks cute, or, and they'll come in. But this one time this lady walked by with somebody and she looked in and she goes, I don't like books. I don't like reading. I was like, oh shit. All right.
Books, not for me.
Ew, books, gross. Learning, ugh, not me. Couldn't be me. Yeah. We get some good ones in there.
I'm just catching up on a couple of our comments from last week. Oh, we should, okay, sorry, transitioning here. Next topic. I feel like we should absolutely have a pro runner on at some point, because I feel like I have so many questions for them. And maybe we should just get a couple, because one does not represent all, for sure.
We got somebody who wants to do it. Which brings me to my one and only update from the week. I ran this week.
Oh, yay. Oh, good.
All of that talk about running, and I was like, I wonder how that would feel. I haven't done it in like 2 years since like my back stuff, and I've been feeling like, okay, I could do that. I went for 3 runs this week.
Oh, awesome.
And they were short and they were slow.
Honestly, I think that's a great build.
You got to great.
You got to start slow.
You got to start real slow. Surprisingly, I felt really, really good.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I did like a couple like very, like when I say short, I mean like 2.5 miles, but I was like so proud of myself that I ran for like the full time and just like as slow as I needed to go. I like got home and sat in the car and was just like, I can run. I mean, it's a big thing after like,
no, it's huge.
An injury to like do anything and have it feel like not be in pain is big. And then, we went to the rec center because we were like, well, we might as well tack a bunch of things on while we're picking Gordon up. Ran on a treadmill, which I haven't done in a very long time. So much easier than running outside.
Oh, really? God, I couldn't agree less.
Really?
I just...
Like, endurance-wise, I was like, oh, my God. I was running so much faster.
I don't even look at that stuff. You don't crank the incline?
Not when I'm running.
No, I feel like running is like running on a treadmill. Exact same thing happens to my brain that happens on an indoor bike trainer, where like I'm on there for like 30 seconds and I was like, how has it not been 45 minutes?
I do feel that sometimes, but it just like, I was so stoked that my body felt okay that I was I'm just gonna keep going. Like I'm in
runner's high.
I'm in the honeymoon phase with running right now. I will be so sick of it tomorrow.
We'll check in next week.
Yeah, next week. But
honestly, I also have. I mean, boy, I really shuffle. Anytime I'm on a trail, I realize. I mean, how often are you tripping?
Every run.
Okay.
Every run.
Me too.
I almost went down the first day and I was like,
the pigeon arms where you like counterbalance by like throwing your arms backwards and you look like a little pigeon running? Do you do that? Like when you trip?
No. I think I put my arms out to prepare to catch myself. What?
Yeah, I know.
I do know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, when you're like running, you're like trying to run it out. I almost just knocked the mic off. This damn stand, my sugar stand.
I have a peanut butter stand.
No, it's awesome. And then you get a little bit of bone, not from crashing or falling. I guess it's not crashing.
When I do it,
sometimes
it's
it is a crash. I mean, honestly, like running down the Colorado Trail, like there's some steep sections where like if you trip, you're like, that's a crash. That's not just
I'm
falling
walking
on
those.
a run.
I just have no like
How
big
are your
aspirations.
shoes?
I need better shoes, I think is what I was.
Have you tried those? Like, I mean, I just call like Hoka's to me is like Kleenex, you know, with like the big floofy running shoe.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like tissue.
I don't have Hoka's, but I have like
You have
I think I have
ones.
Brooks.
You have puffy shoes.
I have puffy shoes.
We're both thinking the same thing. I can see it in your face.
Cannot say that.
Why?
No.
Okay.
Oh
Puffy
my
shoes.
God.
I think I want some puffy shoes. They just seem very expensive.
They're all expensive.
I know.
Just go on Depop.
And get some that have already like worn into somebody and
No,
molded
you can
to
tell
somebody
if
else's foot.
if they're clapped out.
Okay. Well, I'm a
Like
runner now, so.
She's a runner.
But when I was listening to last week's episode where you were talking about doing a 9-minute mile or whatever, and you're like, it's so slow. I was doing like like when I was trail running, 14 minutes. 14 miles. No, 14 minutes.
Trail running is way different. Easy. I was doing a 9.5-minute mile on concrete.
Well, I still was doing 12 minutes on the treadmill, so. But it felt really good.
Also is harder.
The old guy next to me, after I like finished and was just walking, he was like, wow, to be young again and be able to run like that. And I was like, oh, buddy, did you not see how slow I was going? But also I was like, thank you.
Thank you.
I told Jeff that story and he was like, oh, that reminds me. I was at the gym and he was doing like something at the gym. And this guy had a similar comment, but he was like, well, you're still like young-ish.
Thanks for that ish.
Yeah, okay, great.
You're nice-ish.
Yeah, it's rude-ish.
No, again, I can't say this enough. It is so nice to travel without a bicycle. I mean, I still brought a lot of shoes on this trip, but
How
running
many pairs
shoes.
did you bring?
Oh boy, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 again.
Again, lucky number 7. 7
We are
pairs of
here for
shoes.
longer, and we had a lot of things. We had a cocktail
That's
party,
true.
we had a wedding, we had running, of course, the running shoes. The big puffy shoes are hard to
Puffy
pack, I will
shoes.
say. Puffy shoes.
Oh, puppy shoes.
But yeah, it's just, God, it's so nice because I'm like, we just pack a gym outfit, which I get incredibly sweaty. Mm-hmm. So I have to pack 2 gym outfits because one has to dry while the other, anyway, there's a whole rotation. But yeah, it's just nice.
When was the last time you sat on a bike?
I rode before we left.
Do you miss it? Like when you're away from it?
I don't miss it when I'm like traveling. No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. But you miss it like after your season is over.
The gym thing
you
is
just need a break from being on a bike?
Totally. Yeah, I would say like the standard. I mean, there's not really a standard for everyone. Like some coaches are more lenient with their quote off season, which I don't like. When people say off season, this is a question to all you cyclists out there. Are you talking like, because like season to me is more than like a couple weeks, you know, but really like off the bike season is 2 weeks, maybe 3 for people. And then you're like back to like moderate training. So like, does the season imply like a break from racing?
It must be a break from racing. I was wondering that about like what like off season because
I like
it's
that
not
I'm like asking.
Yeah, you asking
the public. I'm like, I don't know.
You're definitely not asking. Let me tell you what I think it is.
Well, like last year I took 5 weeks off. But I was
off?
Yeah.
Like you were not on your bike.
Correct.
I don't remember that.
I took a week. It was like a week before, like from Big Sugar to the wedding. Mm-hmm. So I took that week off. And then the week after that, we had off. And then we had 10 days in Costa Rica. And then we came back and then eased in. And that was a long one, but that was a little more specific to what I had going on at the time, which was a glute injury.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a wedding.
No.
Also a glute injury.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for most people, I mean, it varies. I will say this. I do know that it varies. And like some people will like do like just fun social rides through their off season. Like all my Girona friends, I feel like they didn't take any time off the bike because they were just riding the whole time, which for me, that does not work. I need to have some time where it's like strict no bike, like don't. What I struggle with is no nothing. And it's just like I miss the chemical shift, because I guess I'm an addict of endorphins and it dramatically affects my nude.
And also your mood.
My nude mood. Yeah. Like I don't have like a week. I'm good. I can take a solid week off and like catch up on things. And like, if I'm feeling like really motivated with like,
is that really like, I mean, I feel like you can only take a week off if you're like very heavily distracted into something else.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, but can you take a week off and like really just like rest and recover and not be doing something else?
Sorry, someone was knocking.
Yeah, I heard that. I thought it was maybe Dylan was like jump roping or something.
Maybe he's tap dancing. He's
practicing his Shakira routine. Oh, was that your doorbell?
Am I in a horror movie?
Anyway, back to off season.
Yeah, I would say I could do 7 days, like truly recalibrate, because like now I know, like the older I get in the sport, the more I have actually learned and like do the recovery thing. Like I have to in order to hit better training numbers later. Like I feel that connection very much so, and that is part of wisdom and age.
Wow, you're so wise and old.
I am. Yeah, there was a lot of questions about that at the wedding. I mean, there were like
about what?
Like wow, like they weren't so blatant, like, but a lot of these women were my age at the wedding, and they had
which is like what, 30,
mid-30s,
36,
33.
That can't be right, because
but they had like multiple no, I'm forever 33, remember? They had multiple children, and so like, and we all knew that like we were around the same age. So they were like how do you do, and they're awesome questions, and I was like, yeah, there's not a lot of I was like, you kind of have to put you have to put something on hold. You either have to put
everything on hold,
career on hold, and have children. I mean, it's like any job for women, you put your career on hold and you start your family. But athletics, obviously professional athletics, are a little more challenging to get back into, because you're not just, getting back into the flow of answering emails and doing your job. And like, I'm not minimizing those things, but it's just weird when you have to like use your body, because you're like, well, I don't know. Like, I have no idea how like I'm going to bounce back.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean,
childbirth.
Watching some like friends who have like given birth, like there's obviously like a huge physical component in that like fourth trimester, right? Like after you've given birth, but then like, if your career is also like so physical, like there's so much more, like it's so much more like fine-tuned than just like getting back to like your norm. I mean, I don't think you ever really get back to like your normal.
Totally.
I think your life totally changes.
The sport at the professional level, you're fighting for a percentage of difference between the other people you're racing against. And I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, it can be the difference between like you didn't drink enough water the day before to like prehydrate, or like, I'm just saying, like, it's really, the margin of errors is slim. And so like, when you're adding something like as massively life-changing and, not just with like routine and sleep and recovery and time
and emotion, like the
emotions,
the hormones, out
and
of control.
the physical aspect too.
Yeah.
You know, like your body, I'm assuming, I really can't speak to this because I am not pregnant.
We should probably have somebody on who has a child.
I know. I would love, she and I have chatted a lot because I'm just curious, like how she's feeling, if she had FOMO and, you know, because I sat next to a woman who had one child and they're trying to get pregnant with their second. And she was just telling me like about her, like she also has a career. She was like, she was like, no part of me thought that I was going to like be a stay-at-home mom. And so she just had this like mindset going in, and this is no shade to people who do that at all. And she was not saying that because her best friend sitting next to her was that person, who was like, I want to be home, you know, with the kids.
Totally.
But she was like, I just kind of like mentally knew that is just not me. And she was like, I just had a goal. Like, I love my child, obviously, more than anything in this world. But she was like, I cannot be at home with them all day. There's no way.
Yeah.
She was like, I was so excited she was like, coming back to work the first day, she was like, was the best day of my life.
I mean, I think also for women who choose to stay at home full time, I think they also have that same feeling of like, I cannot do it all the time. Like, it just seems
no.
Like
my friend Allie is like, I need to speak English with adult humans. She was like, I've just been speaking toddler with children all day and listening to Miss Rachel. Yeah.
So for like female athletes, say you like they don't have children, like maybe we just like take that piece. Well, no, you don't even have to take it out. But like, what's the age, like the top of the age range for still being able to compete, like really compete?
Oh, I mean, like there's women on like 40s for sure. I mean, there's women on the pro like mountain bike circuit who like, forgive me, everybody, I can't remember her name.
She's sleep deprived. She went to a party.
Who was it? But she won a World Cup and she's in her 40s.
Yeah. Okay.
What
about like who's the oldest woman in like the Grand Prix?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Erin Huck technically has been in it a couple years, and she has a child. And I think like she's in her 40s for sure. God, I should know this. Me?
Or just like, yeah, I mean,
no. There's a couple women in their late 30s. There's a lot of like mid 30s. And now with the U23 category, that's obviously like bringing the age group down. I didn't know the U23s didn't get free entry into the races in the Grand Prix.
Why not?
I don't know. And not to put the Grand Prix on the spot. They might be changing it this year, and I hope they are. But I'm like, God, that's the age group that needs the free race entries for sure. Like these kids, like U23 were some of the hardest years for sponsorship because you're like out of, I mean, for me, that's when my career kind of started. So I was already kind of out of it before I started. But like a lot of the kids I coach, like, oh my God, they're like coming out of like juniors and collegiate cycling. That's like a very sheltered, competitive environment off onto their own. And some women peak later, I would say. And so like, you just need the support younger.
Yeah. I'm curious what you think about like the future of gravel and like relating to age. Like if you see the like,
that's a good question.
Yeah. If you see,
I mean, I think it's easier to look at like road and mountain where like, well, road, there's a lot of development. There are a lot of development teams. And I know certainly on the men's side, I mean, they're looking younger and younger. Like these young guys are getting like big contracts younger and younger, like
but
in
I
their
think
teenager years.
Like men and women, when it comes to age in sports, especially it seems like in cycling, it seems like there's not a whole lot of overlap. Like I think women specific cycling is a whole different thing in talking about age. Like it just seems like,
yeah, totally.
Just on so many different levels.
Well, it's just so different. Like we're creatures of it. We'll say endurance sport. Cause like like I think women are superior in terms of endurance, honestly. I mean, we just like, we can like go longer and stay in it longer, is my opinion based on nothing other than observation and my experience.
Nothing other than feminism.
Yeah, exactly. No science here. No, I think there's
just going off vibes.
It couldn't be me. So speaking off of vibes, I would say women are better and stronger and can go for longer.
And I would say that. And I've always said that.
I mean, oh my God, we're like built to like have children. Like I can't think of like a better example of endurance.
Yeah.
Emphasis on endure. But yeah, I would say like in gravel, I think that the median age for women is probably higher than other sports.
Do you see it trending like continuing to trend that direction, or
Boy, there's so many trends,
or trending to cater towards kids who are younger, women who are younger?
I think we're trying to get more younger women into the sport because, as previously stated, the biggest thing is like you have to make a decision like when you want to start a family. I mean, there have been plenty of women in like road. I shouldn't say plenty. There have been a handful of women who have had children and come back in. Oh, Annika Longvad, she's a specialized athlete. She was like she is an Olympic level, Olympic champion, world champion mountain biker. And she is now like kind of on like the gravel-ish scene. Like, I don't know if I've never really spoken with her about it, but she just had her first child a year ago. And she's in her 40s and she's racing. She's also like wildly talented. So it's like possible. She like retired, became a dentist again, and then like came back into the sport, like retired from dentistry. Lots of retirements for her. But yeah,
it's
I
funny
would
to
say
call
like
them retirements. I just am like, that's a shift. It's a life shift.
I know everyone says retire. Like I always like laughed like in college. There were like these girls that are like, I'm retiring from road racing, and I'm like, well, are you?
I'm gonna start saying that when like when I talk about like jobs like, that I've had. Well, then I retired from working at Alpaca. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I retired from I kind of like that.
I do too.
I mean, it does seem like though with retire, like you just really like shut that door. You don't get to like.
Oh, see, I think the opposite. I feel like it's like a pause because then I always hear about people coming out of retirement back into bike racing or coming out of retirement.
True.
Into
I think
gravel.
They call that like a hiatus though. That seems like maybe
a sabbatical.
A sabbatical. Mm-hmm.
A sabbatty. A sabbatty with a body.
A baddie doing a sabbatty. I like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, only time will tell what is happening in the age group component of gravel. But like, I mean, if we're talking about pro racing, like one would assume it's going to get younger.
Well, okay. So for you seem like you've been more successful really the older that you get. What do you think was like the biggest change that like made that happen for you? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Actually, that's so funny because I was thinking about this a lot. I would say excluding gravel because like when I started racing, gravel wasn't an option. But I was very different from my peers in that I had very little experience at high level racing at a young age. And I was doing things like amigos and like traveling. Even in college, like I was really serious about bike racing, but I didn't have a coach. Like I grew into it naturally. Like even though I always really wanted to be a professional athlete and I really liked the competition and getting better, like I really aged into it. And in some ways I think it held me back, you know, from like right now I could be stronger potentially.
Because you didn't do as much?
If I had started being serious earlier. And now I like, it's been fun like being at this wedding weekend and like just, you know, talking to normal people and reminiscing with Michael about, you know, our childhoods and like, you know, where we are at now. And like with cycling, I would say like, I maybe am a good example of like just getting stronger the older I get because like on one hand I feel like I'm learning these lessons the hard way and it's like I'm slowly learning these things. Like nutrition, was a huge one. Like I wish I had learned that earlier, like gym work. Like I just started doing like gym stuff like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, really. But like, so part of my head is like, I'm so behind. Like I wish I had just learned these things sooner, but that's only because like, in your mid 30s, like you start like wondering, like, is this the career I want to have? Like, but also being a cyclist, being a professional athlete, that there's not really like a longevity plan, like you're not in this forever, because you can't. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm
not in the same capacity.
No, totally. And like, and that's not just because of like family planning and, having children potentially, if you want to do that. It's like, man, your body like would just start absolutely falling apart.
Yeah.
You're just fighting biology at a certain point and aging. But I had a point with all of this, I guess. But then like also I have to think like I'm still in it at this age because I didn't do it for, like, I've watched a lot of women actually retire. Like, we're good, like, peace out, do something else, which is totally fair. But they like started racing from like a really young age, really intensely. Like Kate Courtney might be one of the only ones that I know who's like, started from like junior cycling and is still in it, which is impressive.
The burnout side of things seems to be, I can imagine that would be a really hard piece. Like, do you experience like, not just like seasonal burnout where you're like, whoo, I'm glad the season's over, but like more of like an existential, like, I'm so burned out of this thing that I'm doing?
Well, I quit. I like...
Right now.
Like
I quit. Are you announcing it? I quit.
This is my retirement announcement. No. No. Yeah, absolutely. I got extremely burned out. It was after, I could not tell you what year it was. I should know this. But I was like, I had raced Pro XCTs, which mountain bike, Olympic distant, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
But it was a while ago, though. That, like, I think we've talked about this before.
No, that was a long time ago. But like, I was
so like,
really...
how are you not burning out now? Like, how is that a thing? Because like, I feel burnout from, all of the things I do. I think I battle
burnout throughout the season for sure. Like, especially like the combination of burnout with nerves and anxiety is wild. And it makes me like want to email my sponsors sometimes and be like, sorry, don't pay me for the rest of the season.
So then how do you deal with it?
I get through the race and I ask myself how I'm feeling after the race.
And how are you like, the racing is
I think it's mostly
the antidote
race
to the burnout?
Stress. Well, I think, oh my God, I saw the whole thing.
It went through my jean jacket, the cactus. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The burnout that I feel, like I felt burned out last year at the end of the season for sure. Like I was tired. It was like a really rough, ending with doing the Grand Prix and the Gravel Earth Series and then getting, the shit seat of the Grand Prix, which I got 2 flats and then ended up losing a top 10 spot for the Grand Prix. And I was like, cool, I hate this. This is not fun for me.
God, that's crazy. I don't even remember that.
And I was like physically, mentally tired. Oh, I do. I cried like...
Well, I bet you do, but yeah.
Basically the whole day after I finished. Yeah, it sucked. And it just made me question like why I was doing it and if I was enjoying it. But like burnout is like, people do get burned out a lot. I don't know. I think for me, there's always like something else to focus on. And like, the sport has been changing so much that like, it doesn't feel like, okay, this is the formula and this is the thing you have to do in order to do this. Like with road or with mountain, there's like pretty much like that's what it is. I mean, it is that with gravel to a certain extent, but like you could specialize in, races like for the Grand Prix.
I like to point out that you just said you could specialized and not specialize.
No, I think I said specialize.
Lily, run it back.
Run back the tapes.
She said you could specialized, which is great. She's like really a good sponsored athlete.
Yeah, you hear that, specialized? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I think it's always really like different. We'll talk to someone who's retired and ask them like what they went through.
Well, I think it's a bigger
or burned
question.
out. Like that's different.
Well, I think
retirement.
burnout, like everyone
I
as a
actually
collective
bet,
is what?
I bet
burnout?
more athletes are burned out than who know it.
Than not? Oh, what?
I think there's some athletes out there that are actually burned out. That's what they're experiencing, but they don't know that they're burned out. And they're just like,
doesn't your body
like,
tell you? Like, this is what I've learned
yeah, but you
about.
have
Like,
to push through so much shit as an athlete. Like yeah.
I don't know.
Probably, but like you also get like positive, negative feedback, if that makes sense. Like if you push through that, like the tiredness or the pain, like sometimes you end up with a good result and you're like, oh, well, that's the thing that worked and this is normal. And like,
Interesting. I just wonder at what point it's like, all comes crashing down. I was thinking about this yesterday because I was talking to my business partner and we're shifting some things a little bit. And like it was on the table for me to like work more and make a little bit more money potentially, or like hire somebody and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so we were talking about this and I was like, well, let me think about it. And I like cannot work more. Because my body this whole year, in the past 2 years, really, since we've been doing the shop stuff, is like, my body has been so clear about like what I can and cannot do, like, you know, with the back stuff, but then like getting shingles and just like all of these things. Yeah. And I have these like episodes of like when things go south, it's when I'm like overworking myself. So I'm like, okay, my body is like very clearly telling me. And it's kind of surprising to me that like, you or maybe other people who are athletes like don't get that immediate feedback. Like how does
no, I think we do. Okay. For sure.
But like not in such a big way that it like because like I've been stopped in my tracks where I like literally cannot do
I think a lot of people experience that for sure. And a lot of the times it comes with injury. Or just like a slew of bad results and the mental side of that, because like, I mean, as my coach reminds me, and what I know to be true, so much so, is that this is a mental game more so than anything, especially at the pro level. It is all mental.
And that's part of why I wonder...
alleviating stress.
Yeah. Like why, like I think that has a lot to do with
it's like also this
median
balance.
Age range for women in the sport is higher because like you're starting to figure out all of the mental bits. And like when you're young...
Yeah, but then new ones just appear because you're did I do poorly at this race because I'm older?
Well, but maybe, and hopefully, I guess the goal is to like learn yourself better and like have these tools to regulate and totally. Not, you know.
But I would say like a page that I could take from your book is like actually like instead of just learning the same lesson the hard way over and over again, there's something with, you know, the intelligence.
Isn't that
like,
insane?
Yeah, I'm doing this. The repetition of doing the same thing over and over again, learning the same lesson and not making any changes. But I think that you're also battling that like athlete archetype mindset too of like, extremely driven, and you're like, the harder I work, the better my result will be. And that is certainly not always the case. And back to off season, it's really hard because you're like, I know I need this rest. I know. But then like other things pop up. Like there's always the like disordered eating component where you're like not burning all of the calories and then you're depriving. And my coach was like, you have to eat carbs. They make you feel better. They make you feel better. He was like, you need them. Like, even if you gain a little bit of weight, he was like, it's fine. You need that. Like, it is essential for recovery, and that kind of stuff. The older you get is like essential. Like, you have to.
I'm pretty jealous of, like, I guess not, you know, overarching men, whatever. Because Jeff and I have talked about this, because, you know, in the summer he goes on these big expeditions and, you know, just works really, really hard and like burns and gets really skinny, you know, in the summer. And so in the winter, he's like, yeah, I've like gained some weight. And he's like, and that's good. Like going into my season of like doing these things. And like, there's like none of that, like aesthetic or like the appearance piece that plays a role in his thinking at all. Whereas like totally. We've been fed so much and we're just all trying to, maybe not all of us, but I know I certainly am trying to like unravel all of this like diet culture that's been fed to me and us and, you know, women for our whole lives.
I guarantee you that's how a lot of women get into the endurance sector of sport, from running or cycling. But then sometimes a cool shift.
Like that's how they get in there?
Oh, for sure. That's
interesting.
I mean, I remember that. I was like, damn, I can eat this thing of donuts from the gas station because I rode here and it's, you know, a 2-hour ride, whatever, like a version of that. But I think a lot of, I mean, I can't obviously like say that for sure. Again, based on vibes, I feel like a lot of women get into the sport, but then this kind of cool shift happens sometimes with endurance cycling and competition is if you're not fueling your body properly, you're not going to get the results. So like competitiveness kind of like outweighs the like image side of it. And like some women, I would say very few, and like the ones who can pull this off are like maybe like freaks of nature, but like they can get really lean and still like perform. But then you always kind of wonder like, God, if they were like a healthier weight, would they actually be faster? So they're like two competing things. And I want to be like extremely delicate with this because there's like
and we need to be
a lot of misinformation. And like, I think at the end of the day, I've watched a lot of women's careers end because of disordered eating and eating disorders. Young women with really, really bad eating disorders like have to leave the sport. And I can only imagine how extraordinarily painful that must be, because like it also makes you really inconsistent if you're not fueling your body. But like the intersection of like competition and professional sport with like body image and then also like managing body weight, because you do like you have to manage what you're putting into your body on both sides. Like you can overeat and you can be heavier. And I would argue for gravel racing, it's almost better to be that, because you have to go for 200 miles, you know, like you can't get away.
Something in the tank.
You could maybe fake it for shorter distances. I mean, I'm talking like hour-long races. Maybe you might be able to get away with that, but like certainly not for gravel racing. And like I've watched people's body like we're figuring that out with gravel and off-road endurance. There's definitely more of a science to that.
What? No. Couldn't be just.
I always laugh when people ask me if I have availability for coaching.
What do you mean? Like to coach people?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I feel like you shouldn't do that. Actually, I know a lot of athletes who are using ChatGPT to coach.
Whoa, that's weird.
Which I would say is really dependent on what type of athlete you are or what type of person you are. Like, are you actually gonna?
I don't know. That seems like a bad idea.
The reason, and I've known this since I became like an actual pro, like a paid professional athlete, I don't trust my own ability to make myself rest and recover. Like I would just run myself into the ground.
And I don't trust my own ability to make myself not rest and recover. I love
Hannah's
resting.
always said like we have like the opposite thing where like Hannah's like arguably healthier. And once you get to the point where you're like
struggles.
Yeah, sure. The opposite, I would say. But like you get to the point on a run where you're like, I feel fulfilled by this and I would like to be doing something else. And then you turn the fuck around. Whereas I have the mental illness where I'm like, yeah, but I'm already out here. It's very opportunistic. I'm already out here. I already have my shoes on. It was a pain. I've already run for an hour. I might as well see like a little bit longer. Or like if I'm on a hike, I'm like, well, I want to know what's around. Like unless we get to the top, I'm like, I don't feel okay turning around. But then
I really don't have that. I really don't have that. I'm like, cool. I feel like my endorphins are like, and if you want, a bucket is full again. And I'm ready to do something else that is also going to fulfill a different bucket.
And then it makes hiking really fun with the two of us.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. It's lightning. We are above tree line. And I think we should probably turn around. We've done enough. And Sarah's like, but we haven't gotten to the top. But there's still 3 more miles to go. It's worth it. I can't turn around yet. Or we're like, late to something and I'm like, hey, we actually need to go.
Oof,
You're like,
that's a big
let's just
struggle.
Keep going.
That's such okay. On a very
you
different
also
note,
are a sandbagger sometimes. Is that what it's called?
What do you mean?
Like you're sandbag, like where you're like, oh, it's just a little bit further, and then it's like 8 more miles. And you're like, well, I thought it was right here. And that drives me crazy. I no longer trust you. Don't scratch.
Honestly, I will say, Norman.
Hi. Lay down. He's just staring out the window. He's good.
Oh, I lost it.
Sorry, I will say is what you started
I will
with.
say that I don't do that on purpose. That is also part of my time blindness and distance blindness of like not really knowing how much time it takes to do things.
And
or
it's
like
crazy that you wouldn't listen to the people who really do know that.
I do.
Sometimes.
But honestly,
You're getting
like
better.
I realized this in the poodial phase the other
I'm sorry?
day. The luteal. I'm going to call it luteal poodial.
Do you get the poops?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's just a poo-poo stage.
I have thoughts on that. I've thought about this
Mom
recently.
Mom confessed that she didn't know what luteal was.
And that's fair because we didn't learn that shit. And she
I feel like I
definitely
learned it like a couple weeks before that episode.
right. It's not.
I learned
like,
it through my app.
We learned like PMS, but that's different than like understanding other things about like luteal phase.
Yeah,
and
we also learned that PMS is like an excuse for men to make fun of us for being bitchy.
Yeah, and that's really not like what the luteal phase. Like, no. I've been trying to rephrase it because like. I don't know, this past one was kind of a doozy and like brought up all of this stuff, but it's like actually this opportunity for things to come to the surface that like maybe you aren't paying enough attention to, and like you have to pay attention to these things, and then it like just opens the conversation with, you know, yourself or whatever about like, oh, these are actually like feelings. Maybe this is like the extreme of what is going on. And like, I'm, you know, feeling like big emotions around this, but like, maybe this is like something that I should look at and like maybe pay attention to when I'm not in my luteal phase. And like, I don't know. I've had a week of lots of reflections.
That's good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Off season for me, you know, you're off season and I get to reflect.
Well, I also think like I'm here for the off-season, you know, trend, if you will, because like it's similar to like, you know, if you live in a place that has seasons, and I've realized that I think I have to live in a place that has seasons, like mainly all 4 of them, even if like spring sucks, like you just have to move into a different phase. And like I will say like when I wasn't like, when I had an IUD and like wasn't like able to like actually, you still get the like cycles of hormones, but it's
just harder to track.
It's really hard to track and know when it is. But I will say like in a hormonal fluctuation, like feeling actually like emotional and vulnerable for those of us like myself who like, I have a hard time accessing that. And that has nothing to do with like me being an athlete. That's just me being who I am. But like, it's nice to like, you know, sit on the toilet and cry.
It's information.
Because at least you feel something.
Yeah. And like you are gaining some kind of information about what's going on because you can't ignore it. Yeah.
And like, I will say like having for me, nervous system regulation is big in the off season.
Huge.
And even if I'm like, training still, like I'm not going to be overdoing it. Like I'm not doing 6-hour training rides right now by any means. Like I've just been doing runs and strength because I really like it. I really have enjoyed like focusing on, you know, going to strength class, and like Dylan and I do like, you know, the funny like 3 days a week together.
Yeah, you were grouchy because you didn't get to do it this morning.
I'm not grouchy.
Your words.
No, I am.
You said I'm grouchy because anyway. That's what you said. I'm just repeating it.
Oh, I lost my thread. Everyone's going to be like, this is such an annoying episode. Mainly Sarah Knight.
You want to explain who Sarah Knight is?
No, I didn't, because I know everyone knows who she is. Damn it, Hannah.
I'm sorry. Sorry, you said you're really enjoying your off season. You're not doing 6-hour training rides. Blah, blah, blah,
I need the like I need the regulation from like ramping up for like the anxiety before a race. That is really the thing that I feel like my body and brain needs. And I
You
would
need
say
your
like
nervous system to ramp up?
no, a break from it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, that is what I crave at the end of the year.
yeah.
Like, and just like even though I don't have a routine, but like the feeling of stress in a day of like waking up and having to figure out like how to fit in this ride based on weather, based on a meeting, based on blah, blah, blah. Like just piecing together my day and week and whatever. That I need some off season from. It's less so the like actual like physical, like my body does say like when I need a break. I think my glute injury last year was very much like, hello, you're doing way, way too much. Or like I did that too much the year before.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Okay. Well, what do you have coming up this next week? What are you doing the last couple days that you're in Mexico?
It feels like a vacation. Like it feels very vacation-y, which is nice. Yeah, we're going to go to Casa Azul, which is the Frida Kahlo Museum, which is her house. Oh, that was a cool thing. I got to see a painting that I've seen a million times, like in print. I actually don't know if I've seen it in person before, but the two Fridas. So it's the image of the two Frida Kahlos, and one has like scissors they each have a heart that's like a very anatomical heart on the outside. And anyway, go Google it. I'm not going to describe the painting, but it was really a nice refresher of being around art and like that evoking feelings and like, yeah, it was a fun experience even though we were painfully hungover at the museum, which is, a test of endurance in and of itself to go to that. Add children in and that's wild. But yeah, it was cool to like stand in front of that painting and feel the feeling that maybe Frida, it was this painting she did after her divorce from Diego Rivera. And it's her commentary on feeling like two different people and the two different sides of grief and grieving, a divorce and the loss of another person, but how these two beating hearts were connected by one vein, and it's, one can't exist without the other, that time-old tale. And I'm really excited about seeing her house. So they do like a little tour. And then we might, on a very different energy level, we might go to a luchador wrestling match.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Oh, that's going to be incredible. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I hope you get to do that.
Yeah, everything, like Mondays are funny in cities because like the museums are all closed. Mm-hmm. Although there is a wax museum in this neighborhood that I'm like, maybe we go. Maybe we see Spanish Spider-Man made of candle wax.
Great. Could be fun.
But yeah, we're just going to chill, kind of take it. And then, I don't know, we'll see how flying home goes. That's
hopefully
truly...
Okay.
It was stressful. We left when I was like, everything was blowing up in the news and the FAA had just started restricting flights. So
we'll see how it goes coming home. Hopefully.
Yeah. If you want to know what kind of person you actually are in this world, travel on planes and see how you deal with stress.
I cry.
The one thing I will say, though, I just want to know, sorry, and we'll end it after this.
Thank God.
When you have a fart bubbling up on a plane and you're like, I can tell this is going to be a stinky one. Why would you release that into the world? Why would you say, okay, butthole, go ahead. Release this hot little slippery fart into the world.
It's just dense.
Dylan and I had a mask on too, and I was like,
"Was it you? Did you do that?"
No, God, I couldn't live with myself.
That is one thing that's nice, like wearing masks on a plane, is that you get a little bit less of that. Or I feel like it's not in my mouth.
I just feel like it filters out the bigger poop particles. Again,
I think
science.
Some people have this thing where they're like, nobody will know it's me because there are a gazillion people
I know, but that
here.
is like, I'm going to put that with the shopping cart theory. The people who fart on planes are the same ones who don't bring their cart back. So when I see you not bringing your cart back, I'm going to ask you, you fart in the planes, don't you? You piece of shit.
Wow. And that's... That's a hot take.
Stinky.
It's
Hot
stinky.
take.
It's gross.
Is that a hot take?
It's
Do
a hot
people
fart.
disagree? That's a hot
No,
fart.
no, I don't think anyone disagrees. Well, I guess maybe we'll find out.
And if you're a plane farter and you're listening to this podcast, no, I don't like you. It's the same way I feel about bad drivers. I just want them to know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's thank
I think
Silka.
I need to eat food.
And then
It's
you should
noon.
go eat some food. Food? You should eat some food.
Thank you, Silka, for sponsoring this science podcast.
Ended on a crazy note. It's not where I thought that was going. We were like tapering
Honestly,
off and then...
You guys need to set up shop here in Mexico City and just have a chain lube booth. There's been
chains
some
real squeaky
chains here. Actually, not a ton of cyclists, but anyway, thank you so much to Silka for sponsoring this episode. We are so very grateful for the products that you make. And someone said the code wasn't working, but it's Talking Over You 15, and there's different, that the sale is over. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job with this. Go ahead and interject. I can see you wanting to say something.
No, I just was like, if the code doesn't work, let us know and we'll figure that out. But
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But Talking Over You 15 should get you 15% off an online purchase. They have tons of stuff. I mean, they have like straps that you can strap, not just
with
bike
the boa,
things.
Hypalon.
With the boa. I mean, you could strap
that.
it onto this little bottle, put your little tools on there. They just make a ton of different things, like different derailleur hangers that are stronger if you have kind of a softer derailleur hanger. They've just figured out small ways, like even like Aero socks, to like, it's that like marginal gain kind of brand. I know they have tons. Go look at their website. Check it all out. I know. Oh, let's put it on the docket for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, dang
Aero
it. We
socks.
should have gotten to that.
That's all right.
But yeah,
Next
you
time.
can get tons of different things. It's not just chain lube and chain wax. If you're not into chain care, there's plenty of other fun
Sounds
things.
like you should be.
Sounds like you should be. You could be into chin care. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. See you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.